Hi and welcome to Movies Suck. Well, I was having a stroll around bounding into comics and I came across this story about Jar Binks to appear in the new Obi-Wan Kenobi Star Wars series. Apparently with a new look, they're going to give him a beard, it says here. I can't really be bothered to read this story because reading this story is not important. We'll read a little bit of it. What the hell? A new rumor details that Jar Binks will appear in the new upcoming Obi-Wan Kenobi series on Disney+. The rumor comes from Making Star Wars, which details that Jar Binks will appear in the series with a beard. Jason Ward of Making Star Wars details the reason for the beard is to reflect where he's been and what his life has been like since they were all deceived by a great lie that ushered in the First Galactic Empire. Blah, 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 blah. The point is that Jar Binks was a terrible, terrible character. He was massively hated in the prequel series. But, whilst that was true, and he was a terrible, terrible character, the sequel series has had nothing but terrible, terrible characters. I asked myself, would I be sadder to see Rey or Jar Binks appear in any future episode of Star Wars that I was to watch? For anything, doesn't matter what Star Wars it was. And I thought to myself, that's actually tough. Rey is a Mary Sue, and has almost no useful characteristics, and certainly nowhere to actually go with her character. She had nowhere to go with her character from the first time we saw her in The Force Awakens. So I was thinking to myself, maybe Jar isn't that bad. Or maybe Poe Dameron. Was Poe Dameron more interesting than Jar Binks? No. Rose Tico? No. Finn? No. There is nothing in the sequel trilogy that is actually better than Jar Binks. And that is a really, really sad thing to say. I couldn't believe that when I saw this, and I thought to myself, wow, I hated the prequel trilogy. Well, okay, hated is too strong a word these days, because thanks to the sequel trilogy, I now look back at the prequel trilogy and think, yeah, it wasn't that bad. Could have been worse. Could have been The Last Jedi. Could have been The Force Awakens. I mean, fuck, I hated that film. I remember watching The Force Awakens and thinking, after I gave it a chance, don't get me wrong, I gave The Force Awakens a chance. I watched half an hour of it before I decided, nope, this isn't Star Wars. Or at least not the Star Wars you know, not the Star Wars we all love. So, I find myself on the fence here. Is Jar Binks a bad thing to appear in Star Wars? I mean, if this Obi-Wan Kenobi series is going to be good, then no, I'd rather see Jar left out of it, thank you. But knowing what Ewan McGregor is like, and he, according to the stuff I've seen, is a bit woke, then chances are this Obi-Wan Kenobi series is going to end up being a bit woke too, because he's going to have some sort of influence over what happens with it. So honestly, I think Jar might be a good thing for the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. Let's face it, how can it get worse than the sequel trilogy? I know you're all yelling, but The Mandalorian was great. Yay for The Mandalorian. The Mandalorian was okay. It wasn't great. The problem was that we were so used to the new sequel trilogy that The Mandalorian looks bloody fantastic in comparison. There were numerous problems with The Mandalorian, and I'm not going to go into them in this video. But suffice to say, Jar Binks might not be the worst thing about the new Obi-Wan Kenobi Star Wars series. May not be the worst thing by a long way. So if he turns up and does his stupid Mr. Riser voice, then, well, let's just hope for the best. I'm not saying that Jar Jar's a bad thing, though he is a very, 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 very bad thing in the prequel trilogy. Could he be a bad thing after we've had the sequel trilogy? That remains to be seen. He certainly feels more Star Wars than bloody Rey does. Anyway, this has been Movie Suck, moaning like hell about a character that no longer matters, in a series that no longer matters, about a company that fucked up a series that no longer matters anymore because they messed it up. Signing out. Leave a like, share, subscribe, and I will catch you guys on the flip side.